What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Saturday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium, and I don't know if it's the coffee talking or if it's two incredible nights of NHL playoff hockey with overtimes talking, but there is, man, sports is the best. And since I started doing a newsletter last May, so it's been a year since I started doing The Squeeze newsletter, sports betting picks every day. It's been 5.5 months since I started doing this video almost every day, starting in January. That's how I started the new year. And the best part about all of this is that I'm so ingrained in all of the sports once again. So I remember being a kid, and if you're here just for the picks portions, go on TikTok, go on Instagram. You can get the 3 picks. Look at the side screen here if you're on YouTube. If you're listening by audio, I guess you can skip ahead. I don't know, but The Squeeze is my podcast, damn it, and I want to get into it a little bit this morning here on a Saturday. I'm a bit fired up, excited. I remember being a kid and I'd watch Sports Desk, TSN Sports Desk with like Michael Landsberg and Darren Detition back in the day, and being a little kid, and the Raptors were just in their infancy, and I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I'd yell, "Oh, Mom, guess what the score was? Guess what guess what the score in the Raptors game was? Guess what the score in the Jays game was?" And I was always so in tune with sort of the entire sports world. Then you get older and you do things and you go to college and you get jobs and you have kids. And COVID sort of made me fall out of love with sports a little bit, because watching sports without fans sucks. And I stopped watching the Blue Jays. I stopped watching the Raptors. I would keep in touch. I'd see the scores and I would follow along with what was happening. I would know, but I wouldn't watch. And now that I'm locked into doing this, and winning bets is great. That's why we're here, is to win bets. But second to that is just reigniting the passion of sports, and all sports. And I used to think like, oh, it's the summer, it's just baseball, it's the dog days of summer. The WNBA tipped off last night, lost all 3 bets that I made personal plays on that, so I was a bit off there. F1 is canceled this weekend, but that's going. You've got golf, like CFL, the Toronto Argonauts start soon again. Argonauts start again soon. It just keeps going, and it's so much fun doing this every day, going from sport to sport and betting on it to just make it more fun to watch. So I'm pumped. I'm excited. Then I've got the Leafs hat on. Our, appreciation to Kyle Dubas. I don't know what happened there. Weird situation. I think the Leafs made a bad decision. This is now the second time between Alex Anthopoulos and Kyle Dubas that I think the organization has made a move based on ego instead of what makes sense in terms of stability. Change is coming, man. You've got Austin Matthews going into a contract year. You've got William Nylander going into a contract year. Sheldon Keefe is a Dubas guy. I don't know. I hope that it works out for them. Obviously, I'm a Leafs fan. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But anyways, now that we're 3.5 minutes in, let's talk about sports and let's talk about the bets. A 2-1 day yesterday. So finally above 500 on a night. We had the Miami Heat plus 9.5. They won that game. They were plus 375. I told you yesterday, sprinkle money on the money line. And I did. I sprinkled a whole unit, man. That was a 3.5 unit win on the Miami Heat. Houston Astros coming through on the run line. Bet that again today. Just auto fire. Houston against the Oakland A's. Where we fell short was the Dallas Stars, and that game was in overtime. Great hockey game, man. These two series are just unbelievable. I'm a basketball guy. I would say basketball is probably my favorite sport, but these NHL playoffs are just crushing it. I'm going to be sad when that is over. But a 2-1 day. And where do we start today? Well, we start in where am I starting? We're going to start in the NHL. We're going to start with the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. It's game 2. Not much strategy to this aside from I'm taking the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line. It's juicy. It's minus 140. It's actually might be minus 150 at some places now, so shop around. That's why if you use BetStamp down below, BetStamp will be able to shop all the odds across all the books for you. It makes a difference. Minus 140 or minus 150 makes a difference. BetStamp's also where you can log in and see all the other picks that I've made. There is a link in the description below. If you click that, you sign up using my promo code @TConium. You'll get a BetStamp account, and you'll get promo codes for various sports books as well. So you should do that. There's not much analysis to this aside from the zigzag theory. I think the Carolina Hurricanes are the better team. They lost game 1 at home. I'm coming back with Carolina Hurricanes at home on the money line. It's juicy. If we lose it, it's tough. But I'm taking the Hurricanes minus 140. That is at Betway. Shifting to the NBA, we've got the Denver Nuggets and the LA Lakers. This is going to be an interesting one. Lakers have got to win this game. They've got to. They're down 2-0 in the series. Denver's won both games at home, but now it shifts to LA, and it's interesting because Denver, including the playoffs, 42-7 at home. Now you can say, is it the altitude? Is it not? I saw a thing earlier about the stats for the altitude. Then it's like, but Denver's never won anything. Well, the teams haven't been very good. Now the team's very good. LA was right there in game 2. They lost that by 5. They were leading a lot of the way. Jamal Murray went off. You love to see it. And I'm in sort of this struggle because I've got a plus 1,800 ticket on the Lakers, but I want the Nuggets to win it. Nuggets Heat finals for me. You got Kyle Lowry on one side, Jamal Murray on the other. Give me that all day. I think the Lakers win this basketball game. I don't think Denver is going to come in and just completely wipe the floor with the LA Lakers in this series. Lakers are just too good. LeBron James is too good. Anthony Davis is too good. Maybe being in LA away from the altitude will have some effect. So I'm predicting that the LA Lakers are able to rebound, get back in this series a little bit. I like 5.5. The first half, it's interesting. The first half spread is 3.5, but the whole game is 5.5. So they're predicting the Lakers to be, or Denver to be, a bit of a second half team. But I think the Lakers can get it done. I don't think this is going to be as close as I think people think. I think it is going to be, they are going to be able to cover. And again, the first game was a 6-point and then a 5-point. So it's been in and around that range. So I'm taking the LA Lakers minus 5.5. That's minus 110 at BetMGM. And your last bet of the day, man, WNBA. Listen, the WNBA is good basketball. If you're in Toronto, you saw what they just did at the Scotiabank Arena. They sold that place out. It was rocking. Serge Ibaka was there. A lot of people were there. It's good basketball. So once the NBA is over, don't come at me and say there's no basketball. WNBA is good basketball. Tipped off last night, and their league pass is $31 Canadian, $25 American to watch all the games. Season's not very long, start to finish. It's 4 months, but it's good stuff. And today we've got the defending champions Las Vegas Aces taking on the Seattle Storm. And the spread's big, but I'm taking the defending champs. I'm taking the Aces at minus 12.5 in this game. Look, last year they went 26-10. What did they do? Well, they only added Candace Parker. They only added Alicia Clark. They're trying to be the first team in 2 decades to defend the WNBA championship. Aja Wilson is back, the finals MVP, the defensive player of the year. Sorry, reigning MVP and defensive player of the year. And finals MVP Chelsea Gray is still there. Most improved player Jackie Young. You've got All-Star Game MVP Kelsey Plum. You've got Coach of the Year Becky Hammon, who's been speculated to be the Raptors' next head coach. You've got 2-time MVP, 2-time champion Candace Parker on the roster as well. Man, the Vegas, they're the super team of the WNBA. They are absolutely stacked. Now, it's interesting because the Seattle Storm are coming off. They won the championship in the COVID bubble, but they have really fallen off ever since then. They've lost Brianna Stewart. They lost Sue Bird. They lost Brian January. 2 players retire, and then Brianna Stewart goes to another roster as well. So it's going to be tough. They did bring in Kia Nurse, who I like very, very much, but I just don't think they have the firepower, and I think the Aces are going to want to make a statement. I think Candace Parker's going to want to make a statement. I think Aja Wilson's going to want to make a statement. So I'm taking the defending champions. It's a big spread, and I was wrong on all 3 of my bets yesterday in the WNBA, so feel free to fade this, but do yourself a favor, at least at 3 o'clock, watch this game. You've got time before the Panthers and the Lakers and those games play. Have some golf. Watch some WNBA. Do yourself a favor. It's good basketball. So those are my 3 bets for you on this Saturday. I've got the Carolina Hurricanes on the money line, minus 140 at Betway. I've got the Los Angeles Lakers, minus 5.5. That's minus 110 at BetMGM. And put on the WNBA today and watch the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces, cover minus 12.5 for minus 110 at FanDuel. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler Connian for more picks and props throughout the day. TikTok and Instagram will have just your picks portions, and your audio is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's a great time to watch sports, man. Let's just talk sports.